Should you push or pull when MIG welding? Even experienced welders can't always give you a definitive answer. The real difference comes down to where the arc is positioned in relation to the weld pool. That changes heat distribution, shielding, gas coverage, penetration, and ultimately the weld profile. To choose the right technique, you first need to understand how each one works. Once you know the principles, it is much easier to decide which technique fits different materials, thicknesses, and welding positions. Before comparing them, let's define both techniques. With the pull technique, the torch travels forward while pointing back toward the completed weld. The wire feeds into the joint ahead of the weld pool as you drag the torch. With the push technique, the torch points in the direction of travel toward the unwelded joint. This allows you to clearly see where you are going before the arc reaches the joint. In pull welding, the arc stays directly over the weld pool. Arc force pushes the molten metal backward, allowing the arc to dig deeper into the base metal and produce stronger penetration. Pull welding typically produces deeper penetration. This is its biggest advantage. The arc heats the base metal directly, giving better root fusion. Higher weld reinforcement. The bead tends to be taller and narrower. More heat goes into penetration rather than spreading sideways. Slightly more spatter because the arc interacts more aggressively with the weld pool. Actual spatter also depends on gas mix, voltage, current, and machine settings. Hold the torch at a 45 degree to the workpiece. Keep a slight drag angle around 5 degrees to 15 degrees. For fillet welds, adjust according to the joint angle. Use a 10 degrees to 25 degrees drag angle. Too much angle increases penetration but reduces gas coverage and raises the risk of porosity. Too little angle behaves almost like holding the torch straight up, reducing the pull effect. Keep the electrical stick out around 10 to 12 times the wire diameter. For a 1.2 millimeter wire, that means roughly 12 to 15 millimeter too long causes unstable arc and more spatter. With push welding, the torch points toward the unwelded joint. Part of the heat is directed ahead of the weld pool, preheating the base metal instead of driving straight downward. The molten metal flows opposite to pull welding, producing a wider and shallower weld pool. Since the shielding gas is directed toward the area being welded first, gas coverage is generally more consistent. The weld pool absorbs part of the arc energy, so penetration is lower than pull welding. On thicker material, this can lead to lack of fusion if parameters aren't correct. The bead is wider and smoother, giving a cleaner appearance. Heat spreads more across the joint. Meanwhile, it has slightly less spatter. The arc impacts the weld pool more gently with smoother metal transfer, and the shielding gas covers the weld pool more effectively, making push welding a good choice for aluminum and stainless steel, where porosity control is critical. And about torch angle for flat welding, use about 75 degrees push angle. For fillet weld, keep push angle at 5 degrees to 15 degrees. Adjust the angle as needed for vertical welding to control the molten metal. For stick-out length, use the same recommendation as pull welding. Let's talk about why do beginners usually learn push welding first. The biggest advantage of push welding is visibility. Since the torch points to the travel direction, you can clearly see the joint before reaching it. That makes it easier to stay on the weld line and keep a consistent weave. With pull welding, the torch blocks part of your view, so you are relying more on experience to judge the weld pool and stay on track. We also need to clear up a few common misconceptions about push and pull welding. One, push welding has less penetration, so it is lower quality. Not true. Shallow penetration isn't a disadvantage on thin material. Too much penetration can burn through the workpiece or cause distortion. On aluminum, forcing a pull technique may even increase the risk of porosity. Neither technique is better. The right one depends on the job. 2, beginners should only use push welding. Push welding is easier to learn, but every welder should master both techniques. Pull welding is often the better choice for structural work and thicker materials. 3, a larger torch angle always gives better results. Not really. Once the angle exceeds 25 degrees, shielding gas becomes much less effective, increasing the risk of porosity. A moderate 10 degrees to 20 degrees angle is usually the best balance. 4, push welding always creates much less spatter, not necessarily. Spatter depends mainly on current, voltage, gas mixture, stick out, and metal transfer mode. Technique makes a difference, but machine settings have a much bigger impact. Pull welding offers deeper penetration and better root fusion, making it the preferred choice for thicker materials, full penetration. Push welding provides better visibility, stronger gas shielding, and a flatter looking bead. In real-world fabrication, you'll rarely use only one technique. The best welders know when to push and when to pull based on the material thickness, welding position, and quality requirements. Mastering both techniques is an important step toward becoming a skilled MIG welder. Next up, MIG weld spatter. Don't miss it.